Hey guys, welcome to a new movie. Today we're doing Silence of the Lamb. Let's go. So what is this? Do I enjoy this movie? Yes, it's a fun movie. This is a movie that has some stuff we'll talk about at some point in the movie. Controversy, we'll talk about that. A little bit of controversy we'll talk about later on in the movie. I didn't know about it until later, and I did after seeing the movie. I kind of see what it is, but the movie I think is still good. Like I still think the movie's good. But we'll get into that later on. I'll talk about it. But did I enjoy it? Yes. Do I think it's the greatest horror movie ever? No, but it is. I think it's good, decent, and also let's jump into it. So, once I get into that topic, I'll try to say it in the best way I can. But yeah, let's jump into what it's about. It's about this girl who goes to meet, who's a cop or a detective, and he goes to, his boss wants him to go and help him solve this case. Or something, and talk to this guy who I want to say is Hannibal Lecter. It's called Hannibal Lecter. I don't know if it's, talk to Hannibal, and she has to go and talk to Hannibal Lecter, and that's kind of like a bunch of the movie, her and Hannibal Lecter talking, and she's going to get more about her, and and obviously they trying to find out who this killer is, going on killing people, and she's trying to get Hannibal Lecter to help him. We eventually obviously find out who it is, but it's like it's this whole series about her trying to stop him, and it's really good. I think it's good, and it's weird, good. This horror, definitely I've seen a horror movie, but like a horror, like I think does it count as a horror movie? I would say yes. I would say a horror detective movie because the guy does some messed up stuff, but it also could be just considered a detective movie, so whatever you want to call it. But it's really good. I think it was good. Just overall, I think the movie was just good, great. I enjoyed it. I give it, and the rating, we're gonna give it probably like an. We are going to. I'm debating if I want to give 7 or an 8. I think we gotta give it an 8. I think it was just nothing. Even the thing, it's like, it wasn't too bad. We'll talk about here in a minute. I don't think it I don't know. But let's jump into it. I think it's an 8. I think it's just overall. That's a quality movie. I think it's good. But yeah. So if you guys seen it, let's talk about it in the comments down below. And before we go, we're gonna talk about the thing I want to talk about because I mentioned the controversy. Also spoilers because I can't talk about the controversy without spoiling who the guy is. So it's like obviously. The guy we find out who the killer is, and there's a guy who is like a transvestite, who dresses up as a woman and does stuff, and it's like, and maybe I think they show him, and he maybe had a sex change down in the downstairs area, I think, because I think I remember seeing it or something, but yeah, it's like, he is, if I'm telling you if I'm getting any of those wrong, or terms wrong, or whatever, if I'm getting anything wrong, sorry, I'm trying to remember this as best as I can. But, obviously, a lot of people in the trans community didn't like that because of him being, saying that, they were like, all trans people, you're saying, all trans people are killers. Because a lot of movies were showing, trans people as bad guys and killers, where I'm like, that's something you shouldn't do. You shouldn't, I understand back then. Nowadays, it's not as, I don't know if it's as bad now. I don't know. The only thing I can even think of that involves anything like that is the character in the one episode of Doom Patrol. But I don't know if that's the same thing, because I'm not well versed in these subjects to know enough about, but yeah. But that's the other thing I can think of that's similar, a trans scene, I think. When that one guy goes to Dannyland, he becomes like a guy who dresses up in drag and stuff. Don't know if that could be just drag or something, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not an expert on these topics, but a lot of people were to the guys like a transvestite, and they always, and also a lot of movies portray them as bad guys or killers or messed up. It's like, they're not. I mean, what I like to say is, they are not. You can't just say, this type of people always are the bad guy. It's like, no. Not saying they can't be, but usually they're not. They're not. For the most part, I'd probably say 99% of the time, not. Could there be a guy who's crazy and does kill people? Yes. But for the most part, I don't think so. I don't think there are. So yeah, I'm just saying. It's not that it's not possible, but it's probably so small, and I can see why people would get outraged in that community for that, because it's not okay. It's not to saying, everybody in this community are crazy people who go around and kill people. They don't. I think everybody would be like, I see it as, I understand where they're coming from, but I'm seeing it as a guy, as me after hearing that, because the person who runs Psycho Cinema at the Alamo, when they played this, I've talked about it. I'm like, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but in the end of the day, I'm like, it's a movie. I see it as okay, I don't think of trans people in that way. I just think this is a movie. This one guy happens to be that, and yeah, the one guy happens to be an asshole or an evil person, and that's it. this person is an evil person. Doesn't matter what he is. This person, because I always think of it as a person's evil, like Lex Luthor's evil, Dr. Octopus is evil. I'm trying to think of other evil characters, like bad guys, but bad guys are bad guys. Doesn't matter what color they are, what anything is, the color, skin, sexuality, none of that matters. So if you're bad, you're bad. That's in the end of the day. I like to think of it as bad people are bad, and it's like in the end of the day, if you're a bad person, you're a bad person, and yeah. But as I said, not all the people in Transmedia are bad. No, probably none of them are bad. I'm not gonna say none, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. I've gone on too long enough. I usually don't like to argue about it, but they did talk about it a little bit. I felt like I kind of with this movie, like, I'm gonna talk about it a little. I feel like we need to, yeah. But I still think the movie's great. Like, it doesn't ruin the movie, but it's like, yeah, it makes you think a little bit. I'm like, okay. Now I don't know any other movies that were really made. This is the only movie I've seen. I think this is one of the only movies I've seen that has fan. Maybe, I don't know. I can't really remember. But yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this movie review. Hope you guys have seen it. If you've seen it, let me know. Let's talk about it. This is an interesting movie, so let's talk about it. You guys can always stay up and see the next movie, you guys. Bye.